It's almost time for Jockeys Up before the 111th Kentucky Derby.
The reason I wrote Spend the Buck was because a friend of mine named Steve Young, he called me Puppy Dog. He said, Puppy Dog, you want to win the Derby, you better call this guy that trained this horse.
Now the jockeys are up there, starting to make their way out to the track.
I called him and I said, you need a rider for that horse, I'm open.
Then the 9 horse, Spend the Buck, and Angel Cordero Jr. up.
Well, Angel Cordero Jr. already had an illustrious Kentucky Derby history. Won his first Kentucky Derby in 1974. He'd win again a couple years later in '76 with Bold Forbes. So I think he was feeling pretty confident coming to the '85 Kentucky Derby that he had a good chance maybe to get another one.
I rode him 3 times before the Derby and he won, back to back, I mean, big time.
There is the favorite.
The favorite for the '85 Kentucky Derby was Chief's Crown. So he came into the Kentucky Derby, not the favorite, but he was pretty highly regarded.
It's almost race time, and we go to Mike Battaglia and the Kentucky Derby.
In the morning of the race, we were having breakfast and I said, okay, all I need is one favor from you guys. Don't give me instruction how to ride.
They're at the pose, and they're off.
Let me ride him. If I don't ride him good, you take me off.
Breaking for the lead from the outside, that's Spend a Buck.
Spend a Buck liked to go to the lead, and most of the trainers and jockeys weren't worried about him going to the lead because they didn't figure he'd get a mile and a quarter and they'd catch him coming down the stretch.
They're moving for the first turn, and Spend a Buck has the lead by a length and a half. Chief's Crown second on the outside.
I thought I was going to be laying like second, but close. But the horse with the speed didn't break. And I look, I was in front. I said, man, I'm going.
Down the back stretch, Spend a Buck is quickly open the lead.
He was running. When we hit the backside and I turn around, he must to be 5-6 lengths in front. I said, oh my goodness.
Has it by 6 lengths.
Spend a Buck really had his way going around the racetrack in 1985. Wasn't challenged a whole lot on the backstretch. He really had control, and quite honestly, he had even a bit more of a burst.
They're moving for the stretch. It's Spend a Buck with a 5-length lead.
They could not catch him. And one thing that sticks in my mind probably the best is the race announcer's call was 1 furlong to go and it's all Spend a Buck.
Spend a Buck by 5.
So Spend a Buck really put on a display that day in the 1985 Kentucky Derby.
Nearing the wire, it's Spend a Buck with the lead.
And he finally won. I wasn't surprised that he won. I was surprised that he did it the way he did it. He was on the move, man. He was nobody gonna be with him.
And as usual, a perfect ride by Angel Cordero.
I was very happy to win the Derby.
What a man, what a rider, what an athlete.
Happy to be one of the few riders that can win the Derby 3 times.
Spend a Buck has just run the 3rd fastest Kentucky Derby in history.
We got a game plan up. We didn't want to fight with anybody. He make it easily, and he was going all the way. He could have run 2 miles in front of the horses today.
Setting the time at just over 2 minutes, and even today, it's still number 4 on the list of the fastest times on record for the Kentucky Derby.